The stars had never looked this quiet. From the orbital command station, Artemis Verge, the endless sea of light glittered like an audience that refused to speak. Admiral Nathan Cole stood before the observation deck. His reflection warped against the glass as the transmission timer on the console flickered. E0000. The countdown had ended. The final ultimatum had been sent to the Lyrian Dominion 72 hours ago, and there was still no reply. The air in the command chamber felt heavy, a silence deeper than vacuum. Every officer aboard knew what that silence meant. The Lyrians had ignored every diplomatic reach, every threat of consequence. And the last time they ignored Earth's message, an entire expedition had disappeared. 2,000 soldiers, 7 starships without a trace. Cole exhaled slowly, watching the distant glow of the Lyrian frontier. 7th expedition, he murmured. And now nothing but ghosts. Behind him, the soft footfall of boots broke his trance. "Sir, Counselor Reyes is requesting an update," said Commander Sarah Holt, his second-in-command. Her voice was calm but brittle, the tone of a soldier who already knew bad news. "They're growing impatient." "Impatient," Cole repeated, the word sour in his mouth. "They ordered us to threaten an interstellar empire with annihilation, and they're impatient." He turned, his gray eyes sharp under the harsh blue light. "Patch them through." The holographic seal of the Terran Galactic Council shimmered to life. 5 silhouettes appeared, each representing the most powerful nations of Earth now bound under one banner. The central figure leaned forward. Counselor Elias Reyes, the political architect of the ultimatum. "Admiral Cole," Reyes began, his tone clipped. "It's been 3 standard days. The Lyrian Dominion remains silent?" "Yes, Counselor. No transmissions, no diplomatic channels. Their border stations have gone dark. We've sent probes, nothing comes back." The counselors exchanged murmurs. Reyes's eyes narrowed. "The same as before," he said quietly. "Like the 5th and 6th expeditions," Cole nodded. "And the 7th," the word hung like a curse. "The 7th expedition, Earth's most advanced fleet, led by Commodore Lena Archer, Cole's former protégé. It had been sent 6 months ago after the Lyrians seized the mining colonies of Sapphira Thorf. Archer's last message had been clear, calm, professional. "Entering Lyrian space. Maintaining formation. Will report upon contact." Then, nothing. Cole still remembered the static that followed, a low distortion that somehow sounded like a scream. Reyes's holographic image straightened. "Admiral, Earth cannot appear weak. The Dominion has challenged our sovereignty 7 times, and 7 times we've hesitated. This silence, this vanishing, undermines everything we've built." "I understand that, Counselor," Cole said evenly. "But if we don't understand why they vanish, we'll be sending more lives into the same graveyard." "Then find out," Reyes snapped. "The Council authorizes the 8th expedition. Immediate deployment." A cold ripple spread across the room. Holt's eyes widened slightly. Cole's jaw tightened. "Understood," he said, voice like steel. "But I'll need full autonomy. Tactical, exploratory, and diplomatic authority." "You'll have it," Reyes replied. "But this time, Admiral, bring us answers. Or bring us a war." The transmission ended. The holograms flickered out, leaving the room drenched in silence once again. Hours later, the fleet assembled. The 8th expedition consisted of 12 dreadnoughts, 24 escort frigates, and a swarm of reconnaissance drones. Their hulls gleamed with the insignia of the United Terran Alliance, a silver Earth encircled by 7 stars, now a bitter reminder of the expeditions lost before. In the command bridge of the UTS Resolute, Cole watched as hyperspace lanes plotted themselves across the star map. "Course set for Lyrian border sectors," Holt reported. "Estimated arrival, 12 hours. "Signal the fleet," Cole said quietly. "Engage on my mark." As the engines began their crescendo, Holt hesitated. "Sir, permission to speak freely?" Cole nodded. "Do you believe they're still alive?" she asked. He didn't answer immediately. He stared at the holographic projection of the missing fleets, 7 voids marked in red. "I believe," he said at last, "that whatever took them still waits out there." and it wants us to follow. The jump into Lyrian space was clean, too clean. No border patrols, no transmissions, no automated defenses. The Dominion, once famed for its radiant cities and impossible architecture, now floated in eerie silence. The stars themselves seemed dimmer here. "Sensor sweep," Holt ordered. "All sectors." "Negative contacts," came the reply from the tactical officer. "No energy signatures, no life readings, no debris. It's like this place never existed." Cole frowned. "That's impossible. The Dominion spans over a dozen systems. There should be something." "Admiral," Holt said suddenly, pointing to the sensor feed. "Picking up faint residual energy. Deep space coordinates. Matching the last known location of the 7th expedition." Every head turned. Cole's pulse quickened. "Bring us in." The fleet adjusted course, engines roaring against the silence. As they approached the coordinates, the tactical readouts began to distort. Energy fluctuations, gravitational anomalies, time differentials flickering by microseconds. And then, the darkness appeared. It was not an object nor a planet. It was a wound in space, a perfect absence surrounded by faint echoes of light. Ships vanished from scanners the closer they came. "Is that a black hole?" Holt whispered. "No," Cole said softly. "Black holes obey physics. That does not." They drifted closer, tension crawling like static across every console. The anomaly pulsed faintly, and for a moment, voices flickered through the comms, distorted, broken, familiar. "This is Commodore Archer requesting evac. Coordinates. God, they're everywhere. The bridge froze. Replay that," Holt barked. The transmission repeated, this time ending in an abrupt burst of static that rattled every earpiece. Cole's hands clenched around the railing. "That's her," he breathed. "She's alive. Or something wants us to think she is," Holt muttered. Cole glanced at her. "Either way, Commander, we're going in." The officers stared, wide-eyed. "Sir, if we lose the Resolute, Earth loses contact entirely." Cole raised a hand. "This is not a debate. Prepare the scout wings. We'll enter the anomaly perimeter and recover the 7th expedition, if any part of it still exists." The order was given. Engines flared, light twisted, and the Resolute advanced toward the void. Around them, the stars bent, and the laws of reality began to scream. As the Resolute crossed the threshold, the sensors went blind. The stars disappeared. Only darkness remained, thick, endless, alive. Then, one by one, faint glimmers appeared on the horizon. Ship lights. Dozens of them. The missing fleets. But something was wrong. The ships drifted silently, their hulls corroded by an unknown residue, their lights flickering like dying fireflies. And between them floated figures, humanoid but twisted, suspended in vacuum as though gravity no longer cared to touch them. "Dear God," Holt whispered. "Are those the crews?" Cole stared. "No. Look closer." The figures moved. Slowly, deliberately, they turned toward the Resolute. The comms crackled again, a whisper threading through static. "Welcome home, Nathan." Cole's blood ran cold. He knew that voice. It was Lena Archer. No one moved. No one breathed. The bridge of the UTS Resolute was silent except for the soft hum of the failing sensors. Outside, the lost ships drifted like tombs under an invisible current. And through the static, Lena Archer's voice echoed again, gentle, cracked, and almost human. "Nathan." "You came back." Admiral Nathan Cole gripped the console. Every instinct told him to cut engines and flee, but something deeper, colder, forced him to stay. If Archer was alive, he told himself, then the others might be too. "Commander Holt," he said, his tone steady but strained. "Triangulate the signal source." "I want her position." Holt's hands flew across the console. "Trying, sir, but the coordinates keep shifting." It's like her voice is everywhere and nowhere. "Localize it by waveform pattern," Cole ordered. "Anything that's stable has an origin." "Sir," Holt hesitated. "That might mean going deeper into the field." Cole looked up at the black horizon where the lost fleets floated. "Then that's where we go." He keyed the intercom. "Engineering, boost power to inertial stabilizers. Navigation, tighten formation. And tell the fleet to maintain radio silence. No one transmits unless I give the word. The Resolute surged ahead, cutting through the veil of dead ships. Hulls loomed past the viewport, twisted and burned, names half-scorched away. UTS Frontier, Vanguard, Solstice. Cole's chest tightened with each one. These were vessels he had commanded, officers he had trained, people he had sent to die. "Sir," Holt murmured, reading faint energy signatures from the nearest derelict. "Vanguard. Minimal power. No life signs. Boarding team?" Cole asked. She nodded grimly. "Already assembling." Cole paused, then said quietly, "I'm going with them." "Sir." "That's an order, Commander." Boarding the dead, the airlock sealed behind them with a low hiss. The boarding team, 6 soldiers in reinforced exosuits, floated into the broken hull of the Vanguard. Their lights cut through the black, illuminating corridors lined with frost and silence. Dust particles drifted like snow. "Atmosphere's thin but breathable," said Sergeant Mason Trent, checking his wrist display. "Power grid's offline. Looks like a catastrophic failure." Cole's voice came through the comms. "Proceed with caution. Any sign of the crew?" "Negative," Trent replied. "No bodies. No suits, nothing." They advanced deeper into the ship. Every sound, the echo of their boots, the soft hum of the scanners, felt amplified. In the bridge, the control panels flickered weakly, and the captain's chair sat turned toward the viewport as though waiting. Then Holt's voice crackled in Cole's earpiece. "Admiral, getting strange readings on your position? Your vitals are splitting." He froze. "Define splitting." "Like you're in 2 places at once." Cole's breath fogged inside his visor. He looked to his left, and for a fraction of a second saw himself standing at the other end of the bridge, motionless, staring back. The reflection vanished before he could speak. "Commander," he said, voice low, "mark this ship's coordinates. No one else boards. We're returning." Back aboard the Resolute, Holt was waiting at the airlock, her face pale under the sterile light. "Sir, we picked up a signal while you were inside. Not a transmission, a heartbeat. Multiple, actually, originating from within the anomaly core." Cole unsealed his helmet. "Human?" She nodded. "At least partially. DNA resonance matches Commodore Archer's genetic profile. But the signals, fractured, as if part of her is broadcasting from different points in space-time." Cole's throat tightened. "Prepare the long-range scanners. I want to see it." The holographic map flickered to life, an unstable field of energy swirling around a fixed center, a pulse like a heart beating in the dark. And at its core, faint but unmistakable, was a ship signature. "UTS Eminence," Holt whispered. "Archer's flagship." The signal in the dark. They approached cautiously, every sensor strained to the limit. The Eminence drifted in the center of a glowing sphere, its hull scarred but intact. Lights flickered weakly across its surface, like a dying ember refusing to fade. Cole stared. "Bring us to 500 meters. No further." The comms crackled again, and this time Archer's voice was clear, strong, and impossibly close. "Nathan, you shouldn't have come." Cole's heart pounded. "Lena, what happened here?" Her reply was almost a whisper. "We made contact." "Not with them. The Lyrians never existed, Nathan. They were a signal, a lure. Something used them to bring us here." Holt's face drained of color. "A lure for what?" Static erupted, followed by distorted whispers overlapping Archer's voice. "They live between the waves, between what's real and remembered." Cole slammed the comms console. "Lena, hold your position. We're bringing you out." "No," she cried. "You don't understand. It's not a place, Nathan. It's alive. It's learning you. Every time you look into it, it looks back." The feed cut out. "Sir," Holt said sharply, "the Eminence is powering up. Reactor spike incoming." Cole turned toward the viewport and saw it. The Eminence's reactor core glowed through the hull, white-hot and expanding. But instead of detonating, the energy folded inward. Like a collapsing star, a spatial rift bloomed outward, swallowing the derelict hull. "Back us off," Holt shouted. "Engines to full!" The Resolute reeled as the shockwave rippled through space, warping reality itself. The lights flickered. Console sparked. Cole was thrown against the railing as alarm screamed across the bridge. Then abruptly, silence. "Status!" he barked. Holt looked up from her console, confusion etched on her face. "Sir, we're not where we were." The star field outside was unfamiliar. Darker, colder, filled with constellations none of their charts recognized. The nav system looped endlessly, unable to find Earth. Cole felt his chest tighten. How far? "Did we jump?" "Unknown," Holt whispered. "No recognizable galactic coordinates. We're off the map." The crew stared out the viewport, speechless. Behind them, the rift pulsed faintly, still open, like a wound that refused to heal. And then the whispers began again, through the comms, through the hull, through the air itself, faint, endless, human. Cole turned slowly toward Holt. "Did you hear that?" She nodded, trembling. "Yes, it sounds like our own voices." The comms flashed to life, one transmission after another. "Admiral Cole, this is the Resolute. We've lost engine control. Commander Holt to engineering. Containment breach on Deck 7. Admiral, we're detecting multiple Resolutes. Same IFF codes, same crew." Cole stared in disbelief. Multiple what? The scanner feeds filled the air with chaos. Across the black, identical copies of the Resolute emerged from the shadows, each one perfect, down to the hull damage. Each broadcasting the same distress signals, their voices overlapping like an echo trapped in eternity. "Sir," Holt whispered. "Which one are we?" Cole didn't answer. He stared at the swarm of their own ships, each screaming for help, each believing itself to be real. Then, one by one, the duplicates began to vanish, folding into themselves like shadows erased by light. The last thing Cole heard before the lights went out was Archer's voice again, soft and near, whispering through the dark. "You can't leave now, Nathan. You're part of it." When Admiral Nathan Cole awoke, the universe was gone. The bridge was silent, dimly lit by flickering panels. The familiar hum of the UTS Resolute was absent, replaced by a low, rhythmic pulse that seemed to come from everywhere and nowhere. Around him, crew members stirred, groggy, disoriented. Commander Sarah Holt was among them, clutching her head. "Admiral," she rasped, "systems are down. We've lost navigation, comms, even internal gravity for a moment. I think we blacked out." Cole steadied himself against the railing. Outside the viewport, a churning expanse of colorless space rippled like an ocean of fog. Stars appeared and vanished like sparks in water, and within that fog shapes moved. Gigantic silhouettes, translucent and shifting, as if space itself were remembering what it once was. "Status," Cole demanded. "Power at 20%, Holt replied. "Hull integrity stable. But Admiral, there's something inside our signal relays. It's mimicking our systems, rewriting data before we even send it." Cole frowned. "Rewriting it how?" She swallowed. "Into words. Our words. Every transmission we've ever made since entering the anomaly, it's recording them, blending them, speaking them back." Before Cole could reply, the intercom crackled to life with his own voice. "This is Admiral Nathan Cole of the 8th Expedition. Earth's final warning, Earth's final. It looped, fragments of his speech dissolving into static, then reforming into something else. "You shouldn't have come, Nathan." Lena Archer's voice again, echoing from every speaker. The dead fleet wakes. The lights dimmed, then flared. Motion alarm screamed across the bridge. "Contact!" "Multiple signatures, closing fast," shouted Ensign Tanner Wells, his hands flying over the console. "Sir, it's the 7th Expedition." Cole's breath caught. Through the fog, ships emerged, thousands of them, their hulls scarred but intact, moving in perfect formation. Archer's fleet. "The 7th Expedition! They're alive!" Holt whispered. But as the ships drew nearer, the illusion shattered. The Eminence, Archer's flagship, led the formation, but its hull was wrong. Sections of metal breathed, flexing as if alive. Its engines burned without fuel, their glow pulsing like a heartbeat. Cole's stomach turned. "Those aren't ships," he said quietly. "They're being used." The comms lit again, Lena's voice clearer than ever. "You always followed orders, Nathan. Even when they led you here, he stepped closer to the display. Lena, listen to me. Whatever this is, it's controlling you. Fight it. It's not control, she said softly. It's understanding. We merged to survive. The anomaly isn't a weapon, it's an intelligence. It learns by reflection. We came to destroy it, but all we did was feed it. Holt's eyes widened. Feed it how? By trying to understand it, Archer replied. By observing it. Every signal, every sensor scan, it grew from us. From the idea of us. Now it knows what we fear most. The fog outside began to shimmer. Shapes appeared. Replicas of Earth's fleets, of human cities, of faces. Millions of them, all watching. Cole's voice hardened. Then we end this. We take the fight to it before it reaches home. Home? Archer's voice laughed, distant and sorrowful. Nathan, there is no home. You've already crossed beyond what your species can return from. The moment you saw it, Earth was already part of it. The bridge trembled. Energy readings spiked across the board. The anomaly was expanding. Admiral, Holt shouted. If this field keeps growing, it'll consume the fleet. Everything. Cole's hand hovered over the emergency detonator switch, the failsafe every expedition carried. A miniature singularity meant to erase all trace of human technology in case of capture. He looked at Holt. If the anomaly learns by reflection, what happens when it sees itself? Holt's eyes widened in understanding. You're thinking of detonating the singularity inside it, forcing it to perceive its own energy pattern. Cole nodded grimly. Every system, every copy, it all mirrors us. But if it mirrors itself, maybe it collapses. Maybe we buy Earth time. The final decision, the crew gathered around the command dais. Fear was thick, but purpose burned brighter. They had seen too much to believe in survival. Cole keyed the ship-wide channel. This is Admiral Nathan Cole. Earth may never hear this, but we'll make sure they remember the silence that came before us. The 8th expedition will not vanish quietly. We'll finish what the 7th began, a pause. Then he turned to Holt. Arm the singularity. She hesitated only a moment. Yes, sir. The reactor core began to pulse, its light spreading through the decks like dawn breaking in metal halls. One by one, the remaining Terran ships aligned in formation around the Resolute. Outside, the false fleet began to react. The possessed ships shifted, moving toward them, their hulls screaming in chorus. The fog boiled as titanic shapes surged closer, the anomaly's guardians. Things with the rough suggestion of ships, but made of bending light and impossible geometry. Reactor at 90%, Holt reported. If we go higher, containment fails. Then that's where we stop, Cole said. Target the anomaly's heart. As the ship's main cannon aligned, a voice filled the bridge again, Lena's but quieter now, almost human. Nathan, please, if you destroy it, you destroy us. He closed his eyes. You're already gone, Lena. A moment of silence. Then softly. Then at least remember me. He smiled sadly. Always, the light that ends all things. The Resolute's reactor reached critical mass. The deck shuddered, lights blinding. Cole stood at the command chair, eyes locked on the growing void ahead. The fog around them churned, forming vast faces, human, alien, and something else entirely. They all spoke at once. You are we. We are you, Cole whispered back. Then watch. He hit the detonator. For an instant there was no sound, only light. It was not the light of destruction, but of revelation. The singularity bloomed like a mirror turned inside out. Reality folded, the anomaly reflecting itself endlessly until the concept of place ceased to exist. Cole felt the bridge dissolve around him, his body untethered. Yet even as everything vanished, he heard Lena's voice one last time. You gave it what it sought, Nathan. An ending. Then silence. 3 months later, deep in Earth's solar orbit, the listening array at Luna Station Prime detected an impossible signal. It came from no known coordinates, carried no recognizable carrier wave, and yet it was human. The signal repeated once every 24 hours. Perfectly clear. This is Admiral Nathan Cole of the 8th Expedition. Mission complete. The stars are quiet again. The technicians stared in disbelief. The message had no source. It came from the silence between stars. and beyond the black in the farthest reach of space, a single point of light flickered, steady, deliberate, eternal.